Right. Okay. Sorry about that. So the welcome address. I'll stand on existing protocol, please. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 conference and annual general meeting of the Nigerian Institution of Environmental Engineers, Lagos chapter, which is a division of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. The theme for this year's conference is Understanding Nigeria's Energy Transition Plans, ETP. In preparation for COP27, the government of Nigeria recently launched its transition plan, which is purported to be its homegrown, data-backed, and multi-pronged strategy to achieving net zero emission by 2060, while solving energy poverty and lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. From desertification in the north, floods in the center, and different parts of Nigeria, air pollution, coastal erosion, which have resulted into socioeconomic effects, are all indicators of the truth and serious effects of climate change in Nigeria. Therefore, quick action is required to limit the effects of climate change. In addition, Nigerians, quicker development is required in light of the country's rapidly increasing population. A truly equitable transition can be achieved in Africa, in Africa's largest economy, by combining these two priorities of economic development and climate action over the course of the next decade. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
The Nigeria's energy transition plans focuses on 5 critical energy sectors: power, cooking oil and gas, transport and industry, and is estimated to cost $1.9 trillion. Today, we have in our midst scholars and experts to guide us through what we need to do, and the actions all stakeholders need to put in play for the success of the energy transition plan. Furthermore, the year 2022 has been a successful economic recovery across the globe. The NIEE Lagos chapter was able to organize webinars, training, and workshops, excursions, and community services, which was demonstrated to commemorate the 2022 World Environment Day, theme Only One Earth. NIEE Lagos chapter focused on clean water and sanitation in order to eradicate open defecation in the Ilaje Bariga area of Lagos State. This was one of our own initiatives and interventions to make the world a better place for all. We hope to do a lot more, and we are ready to continue to partner with all stakeholders to continue these interventions. I want to say thank you to all the NIEE Lagos executive members for their hard work and commitment. Really and truly, I want to say a big thank you, most especially to the Vice Chairman, Engineer Majolagbe, and every other EXCO member who were very active in ensuring that NIEE Lagos chapter carried out a lot of activities this year, 2022. I want to say thank you to all, also a big thank you to all our sponsors and donors. Our sponsors and donors, we have regular sponsors that are always supporting us in everything we're doing. I want to say thank you to you. Those sponsors and donors who have provided us with so much needed support. The NIEE National Headquarters for their cooperation. I mean, we can see that the national chairman is seated here with us. So I want to say thank you to NIEE National also. It has been a very interesting journey for all of us. NIEE Lagos chapter and the innovative engineers would not relent in finding new ways in the new norm to protect the ecosystem, as well as orientating people regarding the environmental impacts and hazards ahead. We cannot be developed unless our lives become reconnected and in balance, cooperation and harmony with nature. We really and truly have to join hands together to ensure that the ecosystem is sustainable for all of us. We appreciate everyone who has put in their best. We appreciate everyone who has been part of our journey. We appreciate everyone who has been part of all our activities over the years. I want to say thank you to everyone seated. Thank you for everyone online. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome to the 2022 conference and annual general meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And of course, for our state chairman, please. Thank you very much for the welcome address. While your speech was going on, we had our Miss Engineer Adireti, the Director, Special Duties, Lagos Police Water Marine Office. We're waiting for the GM to get here, so please monitor. Welcome to the gathering. Like I said earlier, for our rapporteurs, we're having an engineer, an engineer Osilama, plus with the procedural details. I'll be using time. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda, I'd like to call the National Chairman, Engineer S.M. Oya, MNSC FNIEE, to give us his own address and also to declare to this conference. Over. Thank you, sir.
Should we? As chairman, chapter and Yusuf Abdulabi. Also want to recognize the now treasurer that's seated in so that my special guests, welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen of the press, this morning we hear right at the NFA office in Kenya is the plan to move to beat. Discussing at the national AGM chapter institution. Say welcome everyone. Welcome the participant. This one we are discussing some also pertinent to manage Nigeria. Talking about the Nigerian energy transition plan. I agree with me that no nation can grow without energy. No nation can move to anywhere without energy. The big of our problem in this nation is energy, because every sector of the nation, big industry, the homes, the factory or whatever, depend energy. As we are gathering at this AGM here, talking about the energy plan. This measure before, we used to have power percent, but all of a sudden, there's no power. And our nation suffered industrial loss, both human and capital. We see that no nation can grow without paying attention to the energy sector. And this morning, this topic is germane to the growth of our nation as part of the people that need to grow the nation. That's why I'm gathering here this morning to talk about energy transition plan. You agree with me? Like I said, the federal government launched public launch of the energy transition plan and has promised to give the nation pathway to achieve a net zero emission also by 2060. And the leadership role in enabling justice and equitable climate future for Nigeria. And that is the main objective of the plan. And mobilizing finance as required to jumpstart the implementation of this plan. Those are the things that the Nigerian government in recent times purportedly to be its own grown data backing, multiple pronged strategy to achieve this net zero emission. You know, everybody's aware of what's happening in the nation right now. People up north cannot drive in the south because of certain effects of flooding, which are resulted, which is over effect of emission, climate change. Climate change, that's it. 2 million, I said at the former yesterday, 2,400,000 people were lost in this those typical thing that does happen. And properties, we are aware of the person who owned a house, two buildings in the Delta, and the house was so much. And you can see that we need exactly to pay what attention to the sector. So the key objective of that thing is that the ETP is focusing critically on the sector. Power, cooking, oil and gas, transportation, industry. Within the scope of about 65% of the emission are affected. The core plan and the following are small. Following, lifting up 100 million Nigerians out of poverty and driving the economic growth. Bringing modern energy services to full population. Managing the expected long-term job loss in oil sector due to the release of global fossil fuel demand. Playing a leadership role for Africa by promoting fair, inclusive and equitable energy transition in Africa. Right now, this week, this week, we're having African, they're gathering about energy program. And that's why they're saying, you know, that not only Nigeria can make energy, but very also. So it's not only Nigeria that's talking about energy. The whole Africa is talking about energy. So, and the last one says, denying the existing and new government-related energy transition initiative Nigeria's zero economic pathway will result in that job creation. It will result in what? Job creation. Data have that over 340,000 job rate will be created by 2030. And then why up to 840,000 job creation will be by 2060. So that means that's a lot of job creation that's coming up with that. And we agree with me that we need to pay attention as a body to this plan. And if unemployment is the result through this energy plan, then you know that at least the government has done something to lift people out of poverty. And then you will also say, and one of the greater things that will play the major role is that in this you agree with me. You have the sort of business in the house, that would have that. Nigerian way is more of that content than the growth. And this is the advantage of that. I think goes stimulate power and put set. And in Ghana, for example, let us say, because of electric migration tool, the LPG is being used to drive taxis. Conventional natural gas also being used to drive gas, to drive car. Also, here there's already the program of government already started to ensure that complex natural gas is being you can have a hybrid car that can use fuel and also use gas. It's already you can convert your car at cheaper price. We have some centers already people are trying for you to help with the kits, conversion kits to help you to convert your vehicles. So, the Grand National Plan, we create a investment opportunity such as this and expanding of industry related to solar, hydrogen, and electric vehicles. Electric vehicles is being used. We buy electric vehicles outside this country now. We have an incentive, we give an incentive, and you can just lock your car and you drive around. And those are the things that happen. When I was in Kenya, I saw some of these things that we can I'm talking about. Not that we are open that it happens all over the world, and it can happen also in Nigeria. And this is so in my conclusion, I'll just say finally the plan will require a significant technology exchange, which professionals will be involved. Me and you will be involved. Because if you involve what? Technology what? Exchange. Some people have to do a bit of idea for that. Technology like right method and approach or new technology for self-production, hydrogen production, electric ovens, electric cars, and all that. I want to add things. The chemicals plant can be simulated by having gas as a feed to all these things. Now, there's an entity that was produced the time all of that will be the power. That's for your vehicle. But the way that you go back with it was you have methanol content in those vehicles. But because they have high grade of methanol, the percentage of too much, that's why that's an effect of your vehicle. There is a quality in the Nigerian talking about L15 methanol, which it is methanol blend, and that means 50% of it can use, we can produce it to them, we can try it. Those are things we talking about. So the challenges to meet this goal, well, is very, very surmountable, and we can execute it as all professionals. There's a role for all professionals to get involved in this thing now. So please get the finance to do it is to promote it. It's also available by Friday. The CBN development of funding to help you to stimulate that sector as a general government plan. And then we can be a part of this new plan. I just want us to encourage us that the opportunities are there that we can embrace to be part of this action plan. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Long to the NIEE, long to NSC, long to NIEE, long to Lagos chapter NIEE. Thank you. Thank you. These, as the Nigerian chairman of the NIEE, and therefore declare these meetings open.
Thank you very much, sir. Lastly, not in Nigeria. Yes, while we're having the chairman's address, one of our special guests came in. He is the general manager of Lagos State Wastewater Office, Engineer Chief Adebola Plaza. Welcome, sir. Yes, we've been hearing about ETP. What is ETP? He's talking about it. But right now, we're going to hear it in full detail. And to do that for us, we have Professor Magnus Onoha. But before we go there, I want us to hear a little about him. Who is he? How many experience he has? Let's get to know that. And to do that for us, we have this section here, which is to be read by Engineer Helen Lanketaiwo, FNIEE, who's the Director of Resources, Community Services, and Resources, who's Ministry of Resources. Thank you.
Good morning. The National Chairman of the Nigerian Institution of Environmental Influence, the Chairman of the Institution of Environmental Influence, and the Family Secretary of Fiscal Planning and Global Development. Kindly permit me to start on the existing protocol. I'm here to read a dissertation of Professor Magnus Chidi-Odoha. Professor Magnus Chidi-Odoha, the University of Port Harcourt, Nigeria Trade Development Economist, and a research member of the Green Economic Institute at Swedish College, Oxford University, UK, and an associate research fellow at Africa Heritage Institution, formerly known as African Institute for Applied Economics, Enugu. Research member, Africa Technology Policy Studies, ATPS, ATPS Network Kenya. He is also a research member of the UK government-funded Governing Inclusive Green Growth Africa, GIGA, network coordinated by the University of Reading, UK. He is a professor of economics, arguably the first professor of green economics in Africa at Gregory University, Kutu, Abia State, Nigeria, where he combines as the executive director of West Africa Green Economic Development Institute and director Center for Transformative Advancement of Development for Africa of the university. Professor Onoha is also the president of Sustained Energy Practitioners Association of Nigeria, SEPA, and was recently elected as the National Vice Chairman, Steering Committee of Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Association. We are when these are the driver's seat in ensuring that the federal government of Nigeria takes renewable and energy efficient markets as mainstream investments supported by PDA tariffs as obtainable in other countries. As Executive Director, ACP Renewable Energy Academy, Professor Onora facilitated the development of curriculum for the award of National Innovation People NIEE on solar technology and management sponsored by ASPIA and coordinated by the National Board for Technical Education, NBT. He also belongs to the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, Technical Committee, seeking to ensure standards in the renewable energy and energy efficient technology development in Nigeria. He actively participated in the Nigeria Energy Support Program 1 and 2, processes and outcomes. Between 2004 and 2015, he was a senior advisor at Nigeria's National Assembly when he brought his wealth of experience to bear, especially in the areas of energy, climate change, and environment, defense, interparliamentary union, young parliamentarian forum, Nigeria chapter, among others. He is also a member of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, roster of experts on greenhouse gas inventory, GHG, and quality assurance. He is also a member of the Nigeria Climate Change Response Program, SCRP, a European Union funded 4-year program where he chairs the Waste Sector Forum. Professor Onora has very research interest in the marine environment, especially with respect to blue economic paradigm, pollution control and abatement, and presently member technical work for GHG inventory and MROP processes at Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NAMASA. Just recently, he was part of the 3-man team of African Consultants Commission by African Technology Policy Studies, ATPS Network Kenya, and by African Climate Justice Alliance, PACJA, that developed a framework for nationally established contribution to NDIC, implementation areas, as well as monitoring to tracking tools for Africa. The process of turning the index into an app is ongoing. Professor Onora is also a member of Africa Union Scientific Research and Innovation Council, where he is member of the Sources Utilization Subcommittee. He is the author of 4 books and co-authored 4 as well, with several published papers in national and international journals. His forthcoming books bringing the Nigerian economy and bringing the global economy promises to excite and stimulate the knowledge world. Is married with children. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very, very much. So if I go on to Professor Onora, please let's move forward. I will sit the front chairs so that we can talk about it. Professor Onora, are you with us now? Thank you once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I bet it's a bit low, sir.
Mr. Chairman, you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Engineer Sesson Moses Odukoya, our National Chairman, Nigeria Institute of Environmental Engineers, our erudite State Chairman, Chairperson, Engineer Mrs. Abiola Kosebe, Lagos State Chapter, the one and only Assistant Secretary, Majola Gbe, permit me if I get it right, and of course the guest speaker, Mr. Dozie Bilo. And of course, I would also not like to thank my brother, my associate member of the Igbo State chapter. I want to thank Dr. Mrs. Engineer Dr. Mrs. Ngozi Nwogo, Igbo State chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Energy Environmental Engineers. I'm excited. And I'm the wonderful cerebral lady that read my brief citation. I'm excited today, Mr. Chairman. In fact, having listened to your welcome address, in fact, you have provided a soft landing for me. Yeah, because you hit the nail on the head of some of the critical issues I'm about addressing now. I hope you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir, we can.
I hope I'm on to the Lagos State chapter. Find me wanting to come today to be a keynote speaker to an issue that is the topic, a matter of the global attention, has received the global attention. Before I say that, let me quickly remind us. I know we have said we have a 1 minute silence for the flood victims, people that died. But today is also unique for me. I remember vividly, I'm also a Lagosian. We lived at First Bank Estate at Satellite Town. And I remember today vividly, that Sunday morning. Yeah, that Sunday morning, I lived with my uncle who was the manager of the First Bank at Mariga. God bless his soul today. So, 1986, that early morning of 19th October, we woke up to see the Paso bomb that our own delegate, Nigeria's foremost journalist, died today. I don't know, 1986, I was an undergraduate then. So I remember his soul and the soul of others who died from banditry and others rest in perfect peace. So that's it. So that's why today is very, very critical for me. And I'm coming today again to talk on an issue that is utmost importance, understanding Nigeria's energy transition, like the MC said, ETP. That is the Instant Energy Transition Plan. I'm going to give it a full paper because this is of a keynote. I would like to let us know that I'll quickly just it in less than 20 minutes or thereabouts. Now, one issue, what are we talking about with respect to energy transition plan? First of all, climate change is no longer fallacious. Climate change is real. There have been so many years people have so denied that climate change is fallacious, it's a hoax and all that. But at least there's things on. We have seen the flooding that has ravaged Nigeria of late now. It's with 2 years. Forget the dam that is the Cameroonian dam that has that said that was opened and that flooded. But there's an issue also that has to do with the warming of the climate. I think the chairman even mentioned that, Engineer Kosed. I think I heard that when she talked about the system and stuff. The warming of the climate, from the Arctic and Atlantic region, when the glaciers are melting, they come down in form of torrents instead of, it warms, it makes those ice caps. And you can see sea level rise and ocean surge. You can see the Atlantic Bar Beach, between the Lagos Bar Beach, and all that, being the level, flooding takes over. So beyond, so that shows that climate change is something that is like a monster that has come to stay with us. When you have a monster with you, the way to deal with the monster is to cope when the monster is there. So that's why climate change is like a monster, and the world recognize that it's a monster. We have seen it. Let the world come together to collaborate, to discuss how to tackle climate change. All right? And that's why we have the climate change conventions. By the next 2 weeks, we'll be going to Egypt to see our COP20 Conference of Parties for COP27 right there in Egypt. But it started, or the convention in 1994, what we call United Nations Climate Convention on Climate Change, acceded by over 192 or 152 countries all over the world. Then the next one, the most potent, there are so many conventions and protocols and agreements that all targeted at coming together to address this monster through what we call mitigation and adaptation measures. The energy transition plan is like a mitigation measure. There's still a tinge of adaptation. Okay, and so the plan is we are going to look at it because of climate change. It was on an issue that how do I address flooding, how do I address rise in sea level, how do I address drought and desertification, how do I address ocean surge, how do I address erosion menace and all that, how do I address the heat waves. So, and that's exactly what the issue of climate change phenomenon seek to protocol, the conventions, to ensure that there's a limit beyond one can do. You have to put up measures to address emission reduction. So there's so much, 34 degrees, 50 degrees. So there's an issue that if temperature rises beyond 2 degrees Celsius, is very dangerous for human consumption and human livelihood. So we must make effort to reduce this emission caused by climate change. And that's exactly what we say don't go beyond 1.5 degrees Celsius. These are issues that by borders of agreements and conventions and protocols. But within the context of we should reduce it, and the argument is that who are the major costs, which countries are major emitters of this emission. In the world, there what we call the global South and the global North. The global North are the industrialized world, the global South are the emerging and developing countries. We belong to the global South. So the argument is that, okay, during the time of industrialization, so you had a whole lot of emitted so much energy, gas, coal, and all that. But now you're telling us to reduce the emission. Yes, they have a potent argument. But the truth of the matter is that the climate change has no boundaries, the emission has no boundaries. So if we put an argument to say that let us also begin to use coal and oil and gas and all that, then in the process, all of us will die. To get good, just like I imagine in the Bible, what is also Christians say, can we continue to live in sin so that grace abounds? So certainly not. So in spite of the fact there's an argument that we should also develop within the context of our own, based on national peculiarities, yes, developing countries put up that argument. So beyond the mission, we can't lose out our development. And that's why sustainable development became a lexicon. In fact, it was millennium development by 2000. By 2015, it got changed from millennium development to sustainable development. Okay? So in other words, if we want to reduce the emission based on the protocols and agreements and all that, we should also put in development imperatives. In other words, if we are developing, there are 5 things we need to look about in development. Development must ensure prosperity, economic growth. All right. When we are trying to reduce the emission and all that, 1.5 degrees, let's continue to champion economic growth in your country. In both of doing that, they are more people oriented. There must be capacity, must drive the people along in terms of empowerment, in terms of capacity building, in terms of job creation. All right. And that's an aspect of sustainable development. Then the third aspect, when you are developing, there must be planet. The planet must be conserved, and that's what conserve. You need to conserve the planet. In other words, the planet must be treated like an egg. The planet is so delicate that you don't just throw away waste anyhow. Treat the planet like an egg. That's the 3 P. of the 5 P's in sustainable development. The fourth P is partnership. We need to learn to cohere. We need to learn to cooperate. Cooperation is the sing song. That's everybody, because this emission, the pollution, emission does not know any boundary. I'm sure National Engineer Odukoya will agree with me that in the early 80s, late 80s and early 90s, when the Italian firm brought in a waste, cocoa toxic waste here in this country, and we felt that and one community, Nana is cocoa is in Delta State, and the man who got that cocoa dust from Italy felt that it was business. He didn't know that that toxic waste has externalities, tendency. That's why the environmental engineers, environmental engineers, be very, very critical of what I'm saying now. So go to cocoa now. You need to go and investigate that cocoa now. The man took the money. Of course, they dumped the methane or the waste there. They show that negative externalities in terms of the loss of life and the ecosystem there. Go to Nana, that waste, that singular attitude put together by Nana, the man is called Nana, in that village. The man died, his family died, all his household died, then as well as the ecosystem there. So the cocoa toxic became a case study. That was what led to FEPA, Federal Environmental Protection Agency. So there were huge and cry by environmental activists and all that. Of course, the Italian government or the businessman, they shipped the waste back to Italy. But the harm have been done. That opened our eyes to Nigeria to now begin to call Federal Environmental Protection Agency. And that was from that led to the establishment of Federal Ministry of Environment. Okay, so and that's exactly when you talk about environmental engineers, you need to understand the history. How do we this idea of environmental issues and climate change? Look at how is it Nigeria, how is it affecting Nigeria? So what happened? That cocoa toxic waste and among others became an eye opener for us. So you know what about the partnership? So it's not something you do in isolation. So when you do the issue of pollution or emission is so we need to come together. So the world are coming together every year to say, look, let's not go beyond 1 degree Celsius. Okay. So the fifth aspect of P of sustainable development goal is the peaceful coexistence. Forget what is happening in Ukraine and Russia. But we talk of people living in harmony. They must, as much as possible, live in harmony, live peacefully. And that is what development is all about. Happiness. So the 4 P's of sustainable development, one is prosperity. The second one is prosperity, the people. The third, the planets must be preserved. The fourth one, partnership, and the peaceful coexistence. So these are what, so beyond the mission, so we must develop, sustainable development goal must be in the forefront. And that's why if you look at the sustainable development goal that was launched in 2015, so it came, all countries see that as their development benchmark. Nigeria is not excluded, so Nigeria is inclusive. So in the world of, so where we had the agreements, the Paris Agreement in 2015 was a watershed. Somebody said that led to each country determining how to reduce emission without external factor. All right. Under the CDM, the Kyoto Protocol, it was what we call the clean development mechanism. It was the Western world determining projects that have emission reduction potentialities. They should invest in developing countries, what we call the non-annex 1. So now, but they determine, in fact, people have this argument that sometimes they'll come and clear our land and say they want to do afforestation. But that's not it. But in the Paris Agreement of 2015 made it possible that each country must have a clear-cut nationally determined contribution, NDC, on how to reduce emission and the processes. And that was what led to the NDC, which became a potent document that saw to the Paris Agreement. Each country has what we call NDC. So in that NDC, it was very, very clear. Within the Nigerian context, Nigeria had 5 sectors, took 5 sectors to Paris. And the 5 sectors are agriculture, forestry, and other land use are followed. The second one is oil and gas. The third one is energy or power. The fourth one is waste. And the fifth is industry or IPPU, industrial process and product use, IPPU. But in the revised version of the NDC every 5 years, in 2021, we added water and waste. So Nigeria have the 7th sector NDC. But within the context of my discussion, I'll be looking at oil and gas and energy, and power, what we call the energy, so to speak. So that's exactly what is leading, what we are going to be looking at within the context of laws, regulation, and issues, climate change laws, climate change, sustainable development goals, and the national determined contribution. Now you ask yourself, what is energy transition? The energy transition, or what we call energy and just transition. Energy is the fulcrum. In terms of production, 62% of production comes from the energy system. The waste our emission comes from 62% from energy, from the productive agriculture. The other 38% is from fugitive emission and all that. The main emission, 62%, is from the energy system, the production. So energy is very critical, just like the chairman said, in our sustainable development or in development. So when we're talking about energy transition, we are looking at how to move away from the fossil fuel to emerging energy. But there are issues to begin to look at, because energy transition has gained traction lately in terms of energy poverty. You can agree with me that energy poverty is a country of over 200 million, and we don't have access. More than 70 or 80% of Nigerians don't have access, are poor. They don't have access to clean energy. So in other words, energy poverty is an issue when you are discussing energy transition, you cannot dispense with. The energy security, in terms of security, how secure, there was during the time of COVID-19, one lady, I think that lady have an actress was talking about we need light. You want us to stay indoors, all right? What to call stay at home. What's that language again? I've forgotten. Sitting because of COVID. And you have not given us any, we don't have energy. So the woman said, we need light. She was shouting, how can you tell me you want me to be burning fossil fuel? So it's an issue that we cannot treat with levity. Energy sovereignty, we need to it shows some measure of ownership. We want to have this system, as a matter of fact. And geopolitical interests of different states. In fact, when you look at Nigeria, we have GENCOs and DISCOs, Western, what we call Lagos DISCOs, or Southwest DISCOs, Southeast DISCOs, Northeast DISCOs. These are people have geopolitical interest in terms of energy. So in this transition, we're interested, that there must be geopolitical interest. All right. Of course, the climate change issue is what was, like I said earlier, about global warming. Is something that also need for us to have a climate, what we call energy transition. Of course, the COVID-19, like I said earlier, and the pandemic and its disruption has become also another surprise that look, energy is lacking. Like I said, the woman was talking about we need light. You told us to go in and observe COVID-19 protocols, and we shouldn't go out. And we want to stay home. So COVID-19 and disruption also affected energy transition. Within the context of Nigeria, a just transition in energy transition, a discourse for Nigeria means dealing with the fossil fuel to a low carbon system. These impacts include stranded assets, loss of jobs and livelihoods. In other words, energy transition will seem to be moving away from fossil fuel. I told somebody about the transition, not about, there was a time it was under the Stone Age. It used to be straw. Energy will have used to be straw. From straw, we graduated from straw to coal, no, to wood, from wood to coal, from coal to fossil fuel, from fossil fuel to renewables. Even the green hydrogen has come, just like Chairman talked. Yeah, so it's a transition. But in the process of that transition, we must not lose sight of the social and economic fallouts, the social consequences. When you tell somebody to move away from oil and gas, what do you tell when you close oil and gas sectors? What do you tell about those people who are engaged in this? What about the petroleum engineers? Those of you, and so most of you now don't want to take the children to do petroleum engineering again because you feel that the trend is changing. But what do you tell? Are you telling my daughter or my son to begin? You need to think smart. So that's the transition we're talking about. Because whether we like it or not, we need to cohere to reduce emission. The emission, global warming is still staring on us. Like the monster is still there and not ready to die. So we should learn to make sure we move away from fossil fuel to low carbon. Low carbon tells about, renewable energy tells you about when you deploy renewable, you're having to reduce emission. It's a clean energy. So that's what a just transition. So understand the dynamics. So in other words, we should begin to look at what are we going to do to have a just transition, to ensure that there is inclusivity, to ensure that there is job create jobs are created, to ensure that livelihoods are built, to ensure that poverty is reduced, and stuff like that. These are social consequences, economic and social consequences that we should not lose sight of when you're talking about energy and just transition. And that's one thing we should not lose sight of. And also, let me just let you know that within the context of Nigeria, we have killing, all right? We have killing in the energy transition. Of course, we just launched the energy transition plan. But let me also let you know that the energy transition plan is very critical as Nigeria drives net zero plan. Okay, so net zero plan tells you about how do we bring all this energy mix in one. Which one do we consider as that will lead us to net zero plan? Our president last year, at COP26 in Glasgow, UK, said Nigeria net zero plan as a plan for us to drive net zero by between 2022 and 2060. And that's what I'm going to say in the plan. And that net zero plan will be driven by energy transition plan, majority. And so, but what we are trying to say is that in the net zero plan, what do we do? And that's why if you look at what is happening in the world today, it seems as if most of them have started going back to coal, some have started going back to fossil fuel because of the Ukraine war and all that. But it is very important that there is nothing wrong in oil and gas continue to be very relevant in the present needs. But the thing is, technology is evolving. You must have a clean technology. Clean technology, very critical. It's not something, when somebody says about oil and gas, no. It's when you have the wire in oil and gas, when you produce the oil, you flare the gas. Ab initio, we used to flare the gas. Environmental engineer, you know what I'm talking about. You flare the gas. When you flare the gas, that's what leads to that the depletion of the ozone layer, the pollution in the ecosystem, the flora and fauna in the Niger Delta region, and of course other regions. The soot phenomenon we have in River State now is a result of the gas flaring. And a part of the one has been contributed by illegal refineries that you see nowadays there, what we call the illegal refineries. So, but the critical thing is that when you have a technology, when you want to explore and exploit oil, there's a technology called carbon capture sequestration technology. You gather gas, you don't flare gas. So in the process of doing that, you do that, when you gather gas, and gas, I'm saying under Nigeria's net zero plan, it will be largely be driven by natural gas. Okay? Am I understood? I hope I'm communicating. Am I communicating? Hello? Hello? Am I lost there? Am I communicating? I hope I'm communicating.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
sir.
we can hear you, sir.
Hello?
We can hear
We
you.
can hear you, sir.
I want to know whether I'm still communicating.
We can hear you, sir.
Hello, Mr. Chairman, am I still communicating?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Am I still communicating?
We can hear you, sir.
Hello? Oh, there. Hello? Hello? Hello?
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you. We can hear you clearly. Sir.
Hello? I hope I'm communicating. Okay, because I still want to. Okay, so Nigeria's net zero plan would largely be driven by natural gas. This is because over 70% of excuse me, of power generation comes from gas. Most of the remainder comes from oil, with Nigeria the largest user of oil-fed backup generators and in the continent. So much of natural gas remains the major source of power in Nigeria future plan. However, her net zero plan is being given further impetus by the current shift towards reliance on the renewables, such as hydro, biomass, wind, solar PV. In fact, the solar PV, the solar potentials in Nigeria have the capacity to successfully Nigeria get successfully into energy transformation. All right. So, and that's why it is very important that we know these statistics. So currently, electricity access rate approximately 60% of the population, of which I said it earlier, 60 to 70%, of which 86% are based in the urban areas, and 34% which are located in rural areas. So key measures have been identified from these sectors, and these measures are drawn from natural gas as a transition fuel, solar electrification and distribution, clean solar generation, the biomass, all right, the hydropower, the wind, the green hydrogen, which is emerging, and of course the technical and development, training and development. Because we need to have technical capacity. For us to be effective on our net zero plan, the technical and training capacity of our youth. Have a youth board, 50 or 60% of young men and women that will drive, 80% that will drive the energy transition plan are coming from the young men and women in the process. So it's very, very important. In other words, Nigeria's net zero measure will have done so well in terms of coming with adequate policies. The adequate policies that will drive Nigeria, net zero plan, especially with respect to the energy sector, what we call in 2006, there's what we call the Renewable Energy Master Plan. In 2015, there are Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Policy. And then in 2017, there are Renewable Energy Action Plan. Then just 2021, last year, we have the Nigerian Climate Change Framework Act. And recently this year, which is what I'm going to discuss now, is what we call Energy Transition Plan. So all these four plans, and in fact, all that and other plans and policies will help to drive what we call Nigeria Net Zero Plan. But like I said, Energy Transition Plan, ETP, remains the major fulcrum of this Nigeria's net zero plan of 2060. So how come what the journey of Nigeria's energy transition plan, and that's what I begin to round up, is this energy transition plan was approved by the Federal Executive Council to support Nigeria's objective of achieving universal access to energy by 2030 and a carbon neutral strategy, that net zero, by 2060, while also providing enough energy to power the industry and other productive uses. So beyond achieving the neutrality, the emission reduction neutrality, net zero, it's also expected to power the industries and also use for productive uses. All right? That's exactly what the energy transition plan, the key objective, approving universal access by 2030, moving away from that so almost to 90% to 100% by 2030, then carbon neutrality by 2060, while providing enough energy to power the industry as well as other productive uses. Okay? So Nigeria is seeking, of course, Nigeria has gone out to want to seek $410 billion in investment by 2030, starting off with $10 billion in the first year. So Nigeria, by 20 Nigeria has even invested $10 billion in this year, 2022, as they begin to plan for energy transition between now and 2060. So what are the social components of opportunities of meeting? Our Nigeria's, of course, the World Bank is assisting us to do that. In fact, he has made a commitment of $1.5 billion for Nigeria. And the plan, the energy transition plan, has the potential to create jobs. Let me look at the figure of the jobs we have worked out. 340,000 jobs by 2030. Can you imagine? And by 2026, over 1 million jobs from the sector, from this energy sector alone. Let me tell you why. Why I keep saying, for over 60 years or nearly 65 years, oil was discovered in Nigeria. In terms of entrance and exit, oil has not recorded 50,000 jobs for Nigerians. In terms of those who have left and who has come in, the best, entrance and exit, so to speak, clock in and clock out. On the average, 50,000 for oil. But nearly getting to nearly 65 years, getting to 70 years, oil and oil exploration and exploitation. So the job potential for this energy transition is very, very huge. Between now and 2030, we generate over nearly 500,000 jobs. 340. In fact, this one is just a benchmark, a baseline, so to speak. So in other words, the energy transition has the potential of doing this. Also, the potential of lifting people out of poverty. The 100 million naira poverty, people, what the government said they want to do, the potentials are there. When you deploy people in the sectors, in this energy transitional fuel, the gas as a natural gas as a transitional fuel, all right? When you begin to deploy gas as a transitional fuel, you know what that means? When you deploy gas in a short, it will facilitate the establishment of this low energy capacity and address the nation's clean LPG, so to speak. You get to know the begin to deploy. If you look at the opportunities in the solar system, the solar electrification and distribution, the job creation potentials are huge. The job creation potential for wind, geothermal, for biomass, even for green hydrogen, they are very huge. And that's why so many people will be actually engaging people out of poverty, innovations. So that is why it is very critical that energy transition plan has come to stay in Nigeria. And this plan, even though it has its own shortcomings, but it's a document that Nigeria must, must take seriously with it. They shouldn't lose sight of it. Okay, so one of the key things about that energy transition plan is connecting the population to modern energy services and managing the potential job loss in the oil and gas sector because of global decarbonization. So there are win-win situations, what to call alternative sources for those who is transiting from oil and gas to clean energy, to renewables. Even oil and gas companies have started setting up renewable energy plants, you know. Like I know of Total, this what's this now? It changed from I can't remember now. It's not Energy Limited, not oil and gas again. So most of them are rebranding. Most of them are rebranding from Total Energy. We have Total Energy. We have Shell Energy. All right, not Shell Oil and Gas again. Shell Energy, Total Energy. A lot of them are rebranding into energy, so trying to reposition themselves into energy transition. It's all the rebranding tells us about energy transition imperatives, So, and in line with the global decarbonization. So energy transition recognizes that the net zero target can focus on technologies that maximize emission reduction across the following sectors, all right, with higher emissions. And so in technology, we're looking at the efficient technologies. Technologies now, that's why a lot of young men and smart things now. I'm involved in this as a stakeholder, in this keynote because of technology. I don't need to be in Lagos there. I don't need that the technology through technology.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
I'm able to put this,
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
To you. So,
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, sir. Prof, are you hearing us? Prof, are you hearing us?
Prof, can you hear us, sir? Prof?
Hello, Prof. Prof, are you hearing us?
Prof, can you hear us, sir? Prof? So I think the time with the prof is, we can't even hear it. We hear you. Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. President of Nigeria. The president of Nigeria Association of Environment Engineers. I'm sorry, I like calling that environment engineers instead of environmental engineers. So just my way of speaking, not to go slow again. So my good message before the first time I'm so happy to be here. And I'm saying most of us here being young men and ladies. I think I have one or two messages for you. But prior to that, let me address the energy transition plan, which started in 2016 for actualization to decarbonize our environment. I only advise that this government should be an active government that's implementable, because most plans are there on the shelf, crying for attention. and some plans are not even implemented.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I think I got mixed there.
I have good security messages. Lagos State branch of the Nigeria Institution of Engineers. I will just want to advise that the new Lagos area is regulated. And a lot of industries are coming on future results. I wouldn't want to talk
I'm not hearing.
like investments. I want to talk like a resident in that house. Because I live with my job and in environment and in other greatness of that. Please, you go for the environmental impact, study it, and see what is happening presently. I will just I believe as an institution in Lagos State, and that environment is in Lagos State, you have some authority to do something. My message without going to the young youths, young men and ladies here. The problem that will summarize of this job statement is about the potentials in the energy sector. Don't worry, I will speak louder. The potential in the energy sector. Someone like me, for instance, as old as I am, I'm tapping into it. How? Currently, I'm undergoing studies on AI, artificial intelligence, towards energy generation. And I hope to retire into that. And if I could be doing that, probably maybe I'm looking for more money, who knows? But it's just out of curiosity. Because I don't like, while I'm alive, that anything is happening and I'm not a part of it. I don't like it, especially technology. I don't want my children to tell me this is how to operate computer. This is how to do this because you are an old, you're an analog person. Why couldn't I transit from analog to digital? And I know they will know better than I do because they were born into digital life. I was born into analog. I have to come from there too. But you, some of you were born into digital. Please try to go into that area. Try to go into that area. I will say an example. Since January 24, the supply of electricity by NEPA to my house has been suspended. Not because I was owing, because I reduced estimated bill. I can't have a meter and you're giving me a estimated bill. What do? I have renewable energy. I have solar energy in my house. One, by now, nobody will be at home now, they're at work. By the time they come back in the evening, around 3 o'clock, the switch off one. That will take us till 8 o'clock. Another one take us till around 6 o'clock in the morning. I have almost 12 to 14 hours energy. And somebody, a young chap, came to install that. If that thing should cost 3 naira, and I paid him 4 naira, he has been able to sustain himself with 1 naira. I'm just trying to minimize what I'm trying to say. So please, I will advocate, because when some young men, they just go on net, see our names, and start calling, you are the GM of Lagos State, you can give me employment, you can do this, you can do that. Gone are the day, try to go for self-employment. That's what I advocate for my children. Tell them, I'm not looking for government job for you. I'm not looking for a job for anywhere for you, but it's a job about us in the environment. So that's my message for you. So thank you very much. So permit me to go at this particular time because my gas, where they put me, I have a meeting by 1 o'clock and they are coming from Banana Island. So we just need a picture.
So a very big thank you, sir. So Jim will do that very shortly. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Let's just do it.
So, this is a very big thank you for Chile for his therapy.
Like, I understand that I want to conclude.
Bro, can you hear us?
I understand that the power. I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear us, bro?
Yes, I can. I just want to conclude and round up now. Yeah.
Just a minute, sir. Say you can get the point, sir. A minute. May go on, sir.
Yeah. I should go, right? Okay, so as I begin to conclude, right? So energy transition, we seek to in the energy, the building sector. We're going to drive any transition in the building sector. The emission reduction will be driven primarily by electricity, right? Then with respect to oil and gas and industrial sectors, any emission reduction will be enhanced by the global response to the climate change, all right? Using technology, like I said, the carbon capture and storage or sequestration technology, direct air capture and hydrogen fuel, all right? Within the transport sector and power sector, energy reduction will be largely decreased by the uptake electric vehicles, EVs, and renewable energy for solar, respectively. These are captured in Nigeria's energy transition plan. All right, so you can see, energy transition plan is not all about renewable energy alone. Oil and gas is key. So we need oil, we need energy for production. But what I say that in the production, it must use carbon capture, sequestration, and storage technology to exploit and explore oil and gas. All right, you don't need to, with carbon capture or sequestration technology, you don't need to flare gas again. And in the process as well, when you gather gas, you can also, just like what LNG is trying to do, you can pipe it, you can use it to do your domestic, you channel it for what we call clean cook, deficit in the form of LPG, like I said, LPG. It's very, very important. It's not something, so you see, it's a win-win for us. In the process of production, we are going clean, we are going green, we are using clean energy to produce. All right, it's not, we have gone past the era where you just flare gas because you don't have the requisite technology to, when you have gotten that oil, you flare gas. You see gas as a useless commodity. Gas is a potential commodity. Nigeria has a large billions of cubic reserves of gas that we have not even exported, we have not even explored, exploring. What the energy transition plan was all about. Energy transition is part of the plan that we use to drive, a major driver of Nigeria's net zero emission by 2026. So, gentlemen, I want us to, so there are several measures that are being put in place now, for each of the sectors, in oil and gas, the natural gas, in the solar electrification, in the biomass, in the hydro, in the wind, in the green hydro, even in the energy efficiency. There are several measures, and these measures will give a lot of employment opportunities in terms of energy access, in terms of security, in terms of poverty reduction. When Nigeria moves into an energy transition plan, employment creation, let me tell you, what we have is banditry and all that. People are not employed. People are not gainfully employed. So that's why the document, ETP, is an important document which you, National Association of Electrical Engineers, must not treat with levity. What I've got to write today is like a small screen. I've got to write an elixir
Thank you very much. If I allow Professor Heck to go on 3 hours, we'll still be here. Probably the video is recorded, so probably after now, people will play to watch it yourself on YouTube.
I want to thank you and say, as we begin to follow the next one.
We don't say that the time is past and we can't go on. We still go on here. What I can hear with that.
Don't talk too much.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thank you very much, Prof, for the elaborate lecture. Sorry we couldn't listen to everything. We had the time actually. So we're giving 5 to 7 minutes for questions. But I think I'll take that after the lecture. I'll take everything together as a whole. So if that benefits to ask Prof and note it down after this lecture, we can do so. So our second lecturer, as we count us into around past very early, is the CEO of Quad Group, Mr. Jose Ibrahim, to read to us the citation. I'll call the engineer or Sila for the citation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's indeed a privilege to be the one to read this speaker. All protocols to you of chairman, national chairman, Lagos chairman, official, and dignitary secretary. Mr. Jose Ibrahim has a background in economics, education from the University of Ibadan. He also has a background in energy, circular economy, and electronics. He has undergone training in telecommunication, engineering, and entrepreneurship from NP Infrastructure, also from General Electric Lagos Garage of Semi-Colon Africa, and from Enterprise Development Center of Lagos Business School. He has also undergone training from Orange Corners and Faith Foundation and the Innovation Fellowship for Aspiring Inventors and Researchers, IFEM. He is the founder of Quad Group, a clean tech company that leverages electronic waste to build solar lanterns and home systems locally in Nigeria. Please let's make welcome our guest speaker as he gives us his
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be here today. My name is Jose Ibrahim. I'll make it very short and concise. So yeah, we're talking about some key highlights. One of them is linear economy, circular economy, waste to wealth, electronic waste, renewable energy, solar home system, job creation, and food security. I'll make it very short and precise, like I said. Yeah, my name is Jose Ibrahim. I run a startup, a clean startup that leverages electronic waste to build product, like I said. I would like to ask us here if anyone has an idea of, you've read the word circular economy before. Anyone here have heard of circular economy? Thank you, sir. So, the world is shifting towards circular economy from the linear economy point of view. Linear economy is more about production, consumption, and of course, waste, right? But the circular economy talks about recycling, reuse, refurbishment, and what have you, right? So this is what we are trying to implement today in today's world, because climate change is actually a global problem. And in Nigeria, I will tell you that we have so much waste to be used, right? This is why we as a company, we found out that we can harness this waste to do something of substantial value that will give clean energy to rural communities as well as urban areas. The circular economy is something that started in European countries and is being implemented down to Africa. There are countries such as South Africa, Nairobi, South Africa, Kenya, Rwanda, and Tanzania. They are the frontiers for the circular economy model. In Nigeria, we have few startups that are into waste to value that use materials that are gotten from either plastic waste, electronic waste, bio waste to generate some form of energy. This is what exactly we do for. I'll talk a bit about electronic waste. I remember when Prof was presenting and he mentioned a typical scenario where a family, a businessman imported so much waste from Europe, and he felt there was supposed to be a slide, but I can't find it, so I'm just not going to. Yeah. So he imported this waste materials from Europe, thinking he has, had the business opportunity around that. But not knowing that here he's bringing hazardous materials to his family that ended up killing the entire family, right? In Nigeria today, we have about 300 million tons of e-waste. These waste are gotten from discarded laptops, electronics such as monitor screens, washing machines, phone refrigerators, and all that. All of us they have laptops, right? We understand that at a certain level, we have to discard the batteries of our laptop, right? And this is what we have recycled in our products. This is one of our flagship products. This is solar water made locally at our warehouse in Brazil. It consists of 70% waste material. If you look at the batteries, they are lithium-ion batteries gotten from discarded laptop, right? This batteries, from your own point of view, you feel like, hey, why is my laptop not backing up anymore? When you bought it like 3 years ago, it backs up like ultimately, right? Then at some point, it starts behaving like a television. People say, my laptop is not a television. When you unplug it, it goes on. These batteries that you throw out and replace a new one is what we take to build solar systems. Because there's a technology around the way the batteries are being connected, right? So we do a dismantling and we test it for the cells and take the ones that are good and use them for small applications like this that provide value. Yeah. So yes, that's the solar matter. So it's made from 70% e-waste materials. We provide basic lighting as well as USB mobile charging. It comes with a 10-watt solar panel. Fortunately, I didn't talk with the solar panel, but it's just a portable solar panel, not more than this size. Yes. So the reason why we are looking at electronic waste is that as a manufacturing company, we thought of the fact that if we want to get our raw materials from China, it's might be very, very expensive. It is very expensive. So we decided to leverage with what we have on ground. Nigeria, like I said, has so much e-waste because of the population we have currently. If you go to computer, you find so much laptops, so much discarded because these are the things that we can extract and use to do our products. Right? The reason why we're doing this is to see how we can cut down cost of production as well as cost of sales, and of course have a competitive advantage in the growing energy sector market. So one of the unique things about this product is that it's designed with circularity at heart. Imagine, initially I spoke about circular economy, which is recycle, reuse, refurbish, right? The batteries are actually designed in a way that it allows you, when it gets to end of life, you can swap the batteries like a remote control. Some other products you find in the market, when you buy other lanterns, when it gets to certain level, you throw it away because it's no longer working. In most cases, the problem there are the batteries, right? So what we do is that we design our batteries, our products in a way that it enables circularity. So when it gets to the end of life, you can toss out the batteries and replace a new one easily and allow that to continue working. This, of course, is like a business model for us as a service for our product, as well as providing clean energy. What we have done is that we are partnered with e-waste companies across Nigeria. In Nigeria, there are just 2 e-waste companies. One is Itera and the other one is Igbo. We are partnered with both of them. We have a workshop in their own warehouse, which we harvest the waste that they collect formally and we use to process our products. Right? The model is something I want to spread across other African countries. Currently, we are in talks with the WE Center in Nairobi and also in Everosab in Rwanda. So we are looking how to channel our positioning in all these African countries, harvest their waste and build products that is in line with the problems they have, the challenges they have in their countries. So I will talk a little bit more about renewable energy and job creation before I land up. So renewable energy, of course, we all know what renewable energy is. I don't want to dwell so much with that. But there's something that a lot of people don't really understand. Solar home systems are some kind of renewable energy package that enables people that cannot go for the bigger kind of systems to actually have a feel of what renewable energy is.
Solar multi-system can power your basic appliances like your TV screens, your standing fan. These are DC systems, right? I don't know if you understand what I mean by DC systems. Exactly, direct current systems. So these systems are where the future is headed to, because these are battery power systems, right? Your typical inverter converts this AC, DC to AC, right? But a solar system is direct pure DC, and that way it doesn't emit so much heat. It makes your battery last longer. So this is why you see people bringing out, electronic company bringing out products such as inverter lens, also inverter ACs and DC televisions. So I encourage everyone to actually go for such products, because why? Number one, you cut down your cost of bills, utilities, because if you're having a 40-inch TV, for instance, and it's 30 watts in terms of AC, but yeah, in terms of AC, but in the DC scenario, 40 watts can give you consume about 15 watts, half of that. So if you are using PHCM, for instance, if you are using 5,000 every month for your prepaid, if you are using the DC appliances, you are cutting down about 50% of your cost, right? That way, it enables you to save more and have more efficient energy. And also, it allows you to get to both use solar systems easily, because solar home systems are kind of cheaper compared to a typical inverter system where you have to buy one battery for about 200,000, right? So yeah, so the last thing I wanted to talk about job creation in terms of circular economy. We are all young, most young people here. We should look at the possibilities around job creation and the opportunities around circular economy. There are different angles to the waste to value mindset, right? There's waste to art, whereby people use electronic waste to do art and sell abroad. There's waste to wealth, which is something like we're doing here, like converting them to something. There's upcycling, there's recycling, there's refurbishment, there's all sorts, right? And there's even the plastic waste side, but I'm just called in electronic waste, right? So the job creation is so vast. It can bring you to new jobs, it can bring you to new possibilities. You just have to learn about what circular economy is all about, and you see yourself exploring in the next few years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good. Thank you for that brief, yes, elaborate. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, questions, please. Or please, it's Prof with us. Okay, all right, questions, please. For Prof, we have report to NIEE feedback post-program. Or from Mr. Jose, any questions, please? Any questions?
I want to thank the presenters to give us positive questions.
Okay.
My name is Angela. I'd like to ask Mr. Jose a question. Thank you very much. I think you actually inspired me. I would like to find out what it would cost, say, for a startup, yeah, for what they're doing, and how much each lansing costs. Thank you. Finished product. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I didn't get the first one, what the cost of the startup, but I understand the other one, which is the cost. So the cost of this product is 2,000 naira. Although we are selling a bigger market capacity actually, because it's 10,400 milliamps, right? So the charge is like a typical 10,000 milliamps per slide, right? So the goal is to see how we can come down our production. This is one reason why we are looking at ways to, of course, get more waste and get some machines. There are some machines we need that will cut down our production significantly. And the other question is that as a startup, I don't understand what you mean by it.
The new person that wants to start up.
Oh, wow. So it all depends on the area. If you have to go to several trainings, right? So maybe you can contact people like Faith Foundation. They have openings for entrepreneurial trainings. You can also go to NCIC, Nigeria Climate Innovation Center is at the Lagos Business School. So these people run trainings about clean economy, clean tech, and green economy.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Any other question?
Yes.
Fine. In what we represent here, and you were talking about that lithium going through generations, how do you continue that in the context of environment? Because we have to be able to consider that. Because one way or the other, you still generate waste. How do you handle the consistency of the batteries and whatever? I don't want to know that. Are you
Very, very brilliant question because
Thank you.
I like to answer that question very well because it's very important. Right? We can't be trying to avoid and set and so yeah, so like I said, we partner with e-waste companies, former e-waste companies. What they do basically, they collect this waste from British American Tobacco, Nestle, or whatever. These guys they use system for like 2 years and they have a swap out, right? So what we do is that what we use the waste they collected to do is we now have the maybe assigned to the community area, for instance, we have a service center there. So when we sell to maybe we sell to you and it gets to the end of life, you have to bring the lantern back to the service center with the batteries in there. That's only what qualifies you to have a swap. And we now charge you 2,000 naira to swap the batteries because we have four cells center. So we collect the old batteries and keep them and take them back to the recycling guys. They put them into jobs and then it's not them to be batteries.
I think that was a full answer.
Thank you very much. Very much. Very much. Well, this is an opportunity for a startup for a younger engineer to take advantage of this startup. Well, select that thing. Zero, and then you can see. Show it. Alright, so I will just the most relevant answer. I will just say that. So the battery suppose of the battery is very important because that is the great challenge to the and thereby the lithium battery that's a lot of environmental impacts to human and the life of people. So I would say that we need to create collection centers. This way and use done for you they can take it from there to where it can be set. So that's just my advice. Thank you very much. These are the visions. And say one of so thank you very much for this. But I also really want to appreciate Professor this again. There is a presentation. You are really that most I said was the thing that we found to when it was speak. You can see that right now we need to start thinking how to provide solution to this sector. That means we are thinking total solution. Total solution. The nitrogen. Now, we are thinking renewable, waste to waste, everything that is there. As I was talking to somebody yesterday, they have a program and what they're doing is that they have been chopping back, chopping back, single use of the plastics. They have the and what is saying is that this thing that you are calling not waste. It's not a waste, it's the resource, it's what? It's the resource. And when we can put them back and use them at once, we can bring them back. When you convert them to it, and you can have bags that are what? Durable bags. So we can make use of them more than use a quantum back and trade it within. If you get there, 500 years and half, the practice will stay there for you.
And that's one of the challenges. The nation that we have this challenge, remember I told you about funding. One of the main things that costs money in Nigeria is those aspects. So we need to pay attention to that as an association. As also collaborators.
Thank you very much, sir, for the word of advice. I'd love to add, but I didn't say that. Sorry, so we'll go on to the award ceremony. To give thanks to our speakers, our sponsors, and some of our helpers along the year. To start with, I'd like to call on Engineer Taiwo to please help me with an award to Mr. Jose Guido, the CEO of Quadru, for making out time of this schedule to give us the speech today. Round of applause, please. So while that is going on, by Bishop, the world today, I'm going to bring one of the things that we're talking about right now is fuel cells. We're going around mention energy. Sometimes words have stop energy. Please, round of applause for Mr. Bruno from Engineer Tyler for the mention review. Thank you very much.
It is a great pleasure for me to present this award to Mr. Igwe in anticipation of his important presentation at this chapter's annual conference today. This is a pleasure for me too. So I'm presenting on behalf of my people to use our people to really good work. I pray that God see you.
Thank you very much for the assist. I'd also like to call. Okay. I'd like to call on the National Chairman, Engineer Esther, to please give a little award to the Chairman, State Chapter, NIEE, Engineer Mrs. Bella Kushigi, FNSC, FNIE, Good Abstention. Engineer Hello, instead. Thank you, sir.
Then how for me to handle that piece, to Engineer Mrs. Bella Kushigi. Lab said so when she came on board to join us, this morning, that's why I can tell her. And she came on board as a member of this institution. So we want to do something. And what I mean is that we want to have technical service every month. Credits, technical service, where people present papers. They all those paper and they brought skilled professionals to do so. That's commended. Not only that, we also use our method in the company, in the civil service, the family secretary, and to use our connection to bring all these partners, the Jose, the whatever, the magnums, and all that. And when we are making the award for the chapters, that was something. Lagos is one of the best chapter that so much. Just believe the income administration will take a cue from that by not electing. And they brought up, not only that, they brought up the level that our, what's that term? The group dynamics at national level, the one that won the package a lot plays on us. We have a World Environment Day, and we have to get out that is celebrated in the young people, and that's a lot contribution to the man. So on behalf of the national body, the national ESCO, I want to thank Engineer Mrs. Abiola Shibi for outstanding leadership and contribution to the growth of engineering in Nigeria. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Round of applause, please. Thank you very much for the award, sir. And also, as well. Thank you very much. Also, that was thank you very much. Yes, in absentia for Professor Magnus Onoha, electrical engineer Afolabi Gege, is he with us, sir? So please, I'll present for engineer Professor Onoha Magnus. Vice President, for text. Thank you very much. No, I still have it. You should give it to you. You should give it to you. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's a great honor and pleasure to present this award to Professor Magnus Noah as the keynote speaker for today's program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very, very much, sir, for the assistance. Okay, moving on to our environmental firms that supported us for the year we are going at present. We have three to recognize here. For starters, I'll call on now. Please, sir. So please start for us. I'd like to call on, is there a representative from L5 Concept? Anybody from L5 Concept? Okay, all right. So we can go to Gilbert, if you guys are from Gilbert here as well. So we have one for L5, one for Gilbert, and one for Zebra G3. This is sponsored quite a lot of our programs for the year. Okay, for Gilbert. Thank you very much for the assistance for the year.
This is my single call on behalf of the Nigeria Institute of Environmental Engineers, Lagos Chapter. Award of recognition presented to Geobrock Service Limited in recognition of outstanding environmental engineering and dedication to the presented at the Nigeria Cycle of Engineering of the 19th of October 2022, which
Thank you very much, sir, for the assistance. To help present for Zebra G, I'd like to call on Engineer Aderiti, the Director for Special Duties at the assistance. From Zebra G3. Thank you very much, sir, for the coming. Thank you for the assistance during the year as well. These companies have set us quite a lot in the year with many cash and go on about. Thank you very much.
much service award and the Nigerian Institution of Environmental Engineers to Zebra G Services and the recognition of the understanding of environmental engineering impacts and dedication to growth conditions.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Assistant for the year. That concept think we have them in person. In absentia, Vice, help with that, please. Vice Chairman, sir. And please accept for Albert consent. Don't mind. Again, one more time, sir. Please don't mind, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So for L5 consent.
My similar honor again on behalf of the Nigerian Institution of Environmental Engineers, because State Chapter, award of recognition presented to PEFA Concepts Limited in recognition of your outstanding environmental engineering impact and dedication to the growth of the chapter. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That concept. Thank you, sir, again for the assistance with the presentation as well. Wow, that was very terrific. Moving on to the second to last of our agenda, I'd like to call on the Vice Chairman, NIEE Chapter, Engineer Ismailade, PNP, MNIE, MNSC, for his both of things.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to greet the National Chairman, the National Secretary, Engineer Brigadier, the National Treasurer, Engineer Rodin, and the Director of Water Resources, Ministry of Lagos State, Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, Engineer Mrs. Lante Taiwo. I used to call her Doctor. I don't know why. Every time I call her Dr. Taiwo. So maybe someday she will be Doctor. When I was talking to her, before I was listening, I was like, Dr. Taiwo. So I wanted to claim that title. So we also have a very important dignitary that has arrived. That's the person of our former national chairman of NIEE, Engineer Monsoon Adisa Yunesa. You're welcome, sir. There's one thing about the national chairman. You will always know all of their names. All of them. So that's why it's always good to work hard, probably like the national chairman. I also want to say my very good regards to the general manager, engineer chief Adibola Nato. He has been very wonderful, and I mean, he happens to double as my boss at work, because I work with the Lagos State District Office. He has recently appointed me as the head of operations for public facility maintenance in Lagos State, all the wastewater facilities of my government in Lagos State. So I need to give my round of applause. Even is not here, I think he deserves that applause. And it's obviously being represented by the team. He's right here present. And I can tell you, they have really been able to begin to turn wastewater around in a very short time. Very importantly is about the ETP. I mean, Magnus is someone that is very vast when it comes to anything about renewable energy. I mean, when I spoke with him, when I went online and I spoke with him as well, I knew he's well grounded. You can see people we actually wanted to, practically stop him, because he can go on and on, tell you about how to actually transform into green energy solution for Nigeria. Obviously, for me, I used to think ETP is effluent treatment plants. But for environmental engineers, that's the first thing you think. But I think the new normal now is that ETP is the energy transition plan, and we must take it very seriously. If we learned from Engineer Magnus that just only 90%, about 90 million people are actually on the grid. That means on the national grid. That means a lot of people are up there. So they are not using generators. I mean, they are using generators, and those generators are creating emissions.
So now we will now go back to Dr. Dozie. He has been able to make a lot of devices that you can begin to use solar with, and all those things are right there in the market. Dr. Zuzi is a wonderful personality. He has gone far and wide to make a lot of research, because this Western countries have actually gone far and wide. I was in Denmark sometime in June, and I actually saw the practicality of all of these things. They have their decarbonization target for 2030. But it's good to start hearing that we are having a house for 2060, 30 years. I don't know where I'll be by then. I mean, we need to start the work now. So I think the keynote speaker, the guest speaker, has really done well. But the most important thing is that we need to start the implementation now. Because if 70% of the people don't have access to clean energy, that means there's a problem. And we have a target for 2020. So, it's going to be a very long race, but we can shorten it if we begin to create the awareness. And imagine all the media personnel that are present in this call, young engineers or elders in the house. I know if we begin to spread that yourself, we will definitely get there. So I thank the members of the press being present. I thank all our guests that are present in National Expo. You have done really so well. I thank all the guys at the back end. That's our graphic designer for Weebies. And I'm just doing the job, and everyone is there. I thank you so much. I thank the guy doing our virtual presence, Mr. Lucom Informatics. Thank you so much. The moderator, you're wonderful. You've been doing so well. And of course, I won't forget our rapporteurs. They have been doing so greatly. Engineer Osuma, Engineer Rigon Fayani. And of course, lastly is all of our awardees that have done really so well for this institution. They've actually made this institution grow, because when we have any important program to do, all we just need to do is put a call through to several community services, put a call through to geography, put a call through to health part, and the program is done. We need to do less. We usually have enough time to concentrate on planning rather than looking for funds. So that they're always there. So that means they have been able to support the sustainability of the environment. Thank them so much. And thank the Almighty God for making this a reality. Thank you so much.
Yeah? No, you didn't. That was very nice. Thank you very much for the work with us. Lastly, we commenced national anthem. Likewise, and again, national anthem. We all rise with national anthem for the last time for the day's conference comes to a close. Thank you very much. So national anthem. So thank you very much for the respect to Nigeria. That rounds up the conference. Shortly, we'll be commencing the AGM in a few moments.
One of the things that we are in this category. So because we need the need for action. But we know now that we are starting, it's better for us to act. That night, we are starting that. It's going to be more more the current modern is a way answer to our how can I have the houses when we know that the thing is coming from that end, there's no way because of climate action that was not yet taken into account. At the time we needed to do so. We did not. And we did not plan. The better plans are there. We don't didn't do anything about happening. And that's why we're trying to cite letting all to do something. We need to take one. There are reports. There are reports that we done. But nothing done as a nation. So it is part of that thing. It's a complete part of that. If we don't do anything about it, we have to. And you know, the rain this year does too much. By now, we don't have the point that's coming rain. Please, that's the way it's I'm part of the so come up with an act of so what the thing I is that we do not do if you are not something in it, and we don't allow you to get to the dreams, to our geology, to our rivers, and all that. What is happening? They will not happen. What we have is river overflowing. This was that's what's happening. River overflowing, and we have created solutions like that that will contain something so that can use. The problems are there. They are there. They are there. You know what happens in Lagos, for example, is that when the pollution what happens? Oh, those areas from there to but they were for there. Now people are moving. The solution we have provided is that move away, warning signs and information to the people. Move away what has come. That can never be. The solutions is that total solutions that we must face those sectors. Because it will keep happening. A lot of millions of goods properties have been destroyed. Not of lives. People are now living IDP camps in Delta, in Anambra, so the solution is that we need to face that sector. The national energy plan must be attended to so that we can have zero emission. When that's zero emission, we have power, and we have to look to the X, we have to look to the rivers and dams. And when we have that one, then they will free. But now, right now, we are in bigger systemic.
Now, given the challenges now, as we often say that necessity brings innovation, what is NIEE doing? Whether the federal government is there or not, what is the NIEE doing at your own level to at least maybe bring a platform, a kind of routine thing? Government, this is what we should do from our own professional and this is what we do to avoid to avoid poverty, to avoid housing, safety.
as a what the environment is right now, the talking that the creature and skill. Right now, what the tax element really is that's why I say that. Yeah, like tomorrow, because the short term okay, you have no waiting. The previous leadership of the association and previous have been providing solutions. Take that with solution. This is the 3,000. So I say that we have a proposal. They have not been able to implement it. And when you don't implement the fact or an action that you have submitted to the national, to the federal executive. So what I show you that next one. Okay, everybody has seen there's like this in the Dallas institution. You don't take attention to what will happen. You may have more of that. And no government will win this and want to people to be eroded by what flooding or their house to be eroded. Nobody. The responsible government will never accept that. We know that they happy seeing his people being killed or being taken by or this next thing or not. And that's why the president says which will be that this energy plan, that energy transition plan will be implemented. And we believe if implemented, that will job. We have to do too many things. We need to say it here. There are so many things. It's not create some barrier wall. This is ambition that problem. But it's always to play now. And create some solutions. There's also some agents of the state. Don't need to enforce the law. Some of the laws that are in place for it. The laws are there. You can't live in properly. And as possible as that, you cannot live God think and you be not expect your house to be. And you can say nobody, but right now there's a lot of traffic jam. Nobody. My friend, I'm going to be in LT this afternoon. Okay.
Put a plug here again. Everyone. We are getting to start the AGM. We're not going to spend much time on this. We have done a public review. Please provide some details for us to be as quick as possible. To our colleagues in the media, I know most of us want the soft copy of the presentations. All of which is we need to, right? We are going to get you very shortly. So to start with quickly, yeah. Hello, please. So good afternoon, everyone. I want to welcome everybody to Nigerian Institution of Environmental Engineers. Welcome the National School to the IIT.
I want to sincerely welcome you to the Nigerian Institution of Environmental Engineers, Lagos State Chapter Annual General Meeting. The AGM is an annual event that is for financial members. So we expect that if we have financial members, we can have a seat. Both members and fellows. To commence this annual general meeting, I want us to start with the national anthem quickly. For us to get into the spirit. So the next thing is for me to hand over to the National Chairman, Engineer S.N. Okoya, to help us out with the conference proceedings. So I would like to, on behalf of the State Chairman, Engineer Abiola Koshibe, FNSC, FNIE, I would like to hand over the mic to the National Chairman.
Thank you. We're back on that May. The last year, so 2021, 2022 school stands result. Where we will not be the report of activities and then now to election let be effective for 2022, 2023 activity. Please go ahead and report.
Thank you very much, sir. The National Chairman, Engineer S.N. Okoya, the National Executive Members, the State Executive Members, distinguished members, well-wishers, friends, and colleagues, and obviously the members of the press. I want to read these chairman's annual reports on behalf of our distinguished chairman, Engineer Mrs. Abiola Koshibe, who as the permanent secretary, Lagos State Ministry of Fiscal Planning and Urban Development. I stand here today to give you a report of how myself, and the executive members ran the 2022 team in order to give you the best in trainings, information around making our ecosystem safer and more sustainable. We had 4 technical sessions during the year under review, and the topics covered climate change, the key lessons from COP26. We all know about that by 5th of November, everyone will be in Egypt, Cairo, for COP27. And we'll definitely have key lessons learned as one of our course program of the coming year. We also have a technical section on project management for environmental engineers, which is also key and salient because if you have a project worth millions of dollars, and I mean, you do not have someone that is certified as a project manager on it, then the water will go, the money will go into the drain, and it will be wasting a lot of money. So we did this piece to ensure that our engineers are equipped with that knowledge. We also had a topic on waste of wealth. That's how we make a whole lot of money. Engineers need money and they like money. So we have a presentation on that. We also had another presentation on business opportunity and regulatory framework in wastewater management. This is also a very key area that we had to look into because as at the moment, we have the Lagos State Environmental Management and Protection Law 2017. But we still believe, from the professional point of view, that we still have a lot to add on to that environmental law. So that all of these wastewater management solutions that we have across our people will be a thing of the past. These presentations were held virtually. The waste to health session was particularly held in an hybrid situation, and we had it this kind of etc. We had an appreciable attendance at this event. On annual activities, we usually celebrate the World Environment Day. So we have been celebrating it during these 4 years of engineering in Blackstown. This particular year, we had it with the students of the non-profit organization. I recall when we were having the ESCO meeting to decide on where to go. There were options. Should we go to Landmark and enjoy our life? Should we go to less privilege and see what is really how degraded our environment is? And the entire school said, yes, we must go to where we have a lot of environmental degradation, where we can begin to apply our knowledge as engineers to solve problems. So we decided to go to Footprint of Data Foundation, located at the waterside of Barriga. And the theme of the day was only one path. And obviously, we had issues of open defecation around that area. So we also deliberated at the ESCO level. What should we do to help the environment? Stop open defecation. That has been stopped by late Alaji Jakonde as far back as 1983. But it's still happening in some areas like Barriga Waterside. So we decided to donate 12 water closets to the school to fight open defecation. I know our national chairman actually donated one. I can't remember very well. So he has been very supportive and in fire as well. And there were also paper presentations done by students on environmental issues. I think you could go on YouTube and watch how the students actually display their knowledge about the environment. I can tell you, if you keep up to it, future will be better for everyone. And obviously, there was a gift by the national executive. So I can recall the donation was given to those students by the national executive. So we thank the National ESCO for approving that donation to the students. I think about €100,000 to the students. So on the national scene, we participated at the national body during its program. And that is why we have them present. And I would really appreciate them for supporting us as well. Some of which are the particular event we had at the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Victoria Island branch. So I think by mistake, the virtual president guy actually went there because he covered that program. So that was why we started about 5 or 10 minutes late. So because he thought that was where the program was.
So, but all good, was able to come on time. Thank you very much, sir. So, a sustainable path to air pollution detection in Lagos was organized in cooperation with the NIEE Manchester branch. And we also had the 2021 conference, and AGF, which was held at Abeokuta. And a couple of people were also present at Abeokuta, and we were able to see the library. They had a lot of fun there. So, Nigerian Institute of Environmental Engineers is not just about, you can also catch some fun and feel the environment as well. So we also took part at the investiture of my national chairman here present in the ISM earlier this year, and we participated at the investigation of the National Building Code, which is presently ongoing. And we have one of the key members here, Engineer Suma, presently seated, and the members from the ministry as well. And of course, we have our state chairman chairing and permanent secretary to the investigation of the building code, which is something we believe that if it is properly done in Lagos, then we will get it right across the nation. And if the environmental engineers actually have their inputs there, then obviously that building code will be sustainable. We had a couple of hindrances during the year, some of which are low turnout of members and programs, and low response rate as it concerns to annual dues. We can't help but see a big thank you to our members for the never-ending support financially, fiscally, and in every other way they contributed to the success of this year's activities. Lastly, to our corporate sponsors, our warmest gratitude goes out to you. But let's keep the support for the incoming executives so as to ensure we keep driving the aim of NIE, which is to keep our earth safe and sustainable. NIE Sustainable Environment Engineer Mrs. Abiola Koshigwe, FNSC, FNIE Chairman, NIE Lagos Chapter 2019 till date.
Chairman, and then happy place of secretary. That's it. Okay, everything. The reports are already been circulated, and I think that's on 18. Not going to make fast. So I will just say that I think your report, but the one that's so important to us is the financial report. And we have what we want to have. Gogo, who can Gogo? Not the summary.
Okay.
Okay, summary.
Let's just like the publicity secretary to help us take you on that.
So today, financial reports. The last bit of the report, I'm seeing the last page there. To start with, last year, September, the balance was 772,085.51. From then till date, for the, as I said, environment day, we got 45,000 donations. For annual dues, we have 5,000 naira. That's for the chapter. Membership dues and forms for new members, 9,000 naira. Now, to represent the national, no, not yet, 5,000 naira as well. The interest for the year is 10,000 naira, 54.74 cover. Total, we have 1,331,654.25 credits. Now, payments that were made. The first we have is limited use, national, none for now. Now, for the main physical session for this year, just physical, we spent 60,000 naira on different expenses, fee, other items. Bank charges, we had 916.73. For the environment day, we spent 300,000 naira. Now, for the investiture, national level, we spent 2,000 naira. all of which total to 410,916.73. But the balance we have in our accounts is that when this was prepared was 920,737.52 total. All confirmed to be intact and correct. Last paragraph. Okay, the other report. So it's an essay, so I think we'll go through it. The last part here. The last paragraph. Okay. An audit includes evaluating the appropriateness of account policies used and the reasonableness of account estimates made by executives, as well as evaluating the overall picture of the account statements. We believe that the audit evidence contained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our audit opinion. Nicola Adebayo, EC, for the auditor. This was signed 12 October 2022.
Thank you very much. Have you not done well? Have you not done well? They didn't spend the money. They didn't spend their money. And we have a program up to the there. That's wonderful. Commendable to the chairperson, Honorary Secretary of the school. And then also the bike and other members of protecting. Thank you for bringing this training to us at all time. We are grateful. I think they have done well, and as Hannah said, the has passed. We have mandate to spend 1 year, and the year is as come to an end. So we want to thank you for all the work. Thank you very much. Yes. We want to thank you for the work that you have done. And that you your executive for that year start with us. That side. Yes. Election of the new executive was January 22, 2023. The nomination that we have with us are yes. On behalf of the National Chairman of the Engineers, I want to read out the names of the nominees for the proposed year 2022-23 executive members. The nominee for the post of chairman is Engineer Isu. The nominee for vice chairman, Engineer Mrs. Elanke Taiwo. The nominee for the secretary, Engineer Ibrahim Mumi. The nominee for the post of treasurer. If you are here, kindly signify if you are here, just signify by easier. The nominee for the post of treasurer, Engineer Nishi Olani. For the post of financial secretary, Engineer Bidebi Yusuf. Engineer Oladele Fatime. For the post of assistant technical secretary, Engineer Islama Suma. The nominee for the post of publicity secretary, Engineer Omoife today. The nominee for the post of membership secretary, Engineer Shiri Adebayo. Nominee for the post of assistant general secretary, Engineer Riva Fayemi. Nominee for the post of the S-Official 1, which is automatic, limited pass chairman, Engineer Mrs. Abiola Oshege. The second S-Official member will be Engineer Dr. Muritala Ibrahim Yaman. The third one is the third ex-official is Engineer Akisoya. Thank you very much. I will just say this. If you want Engineer to continue to now standing as chairman, raise up your hand. Who can relocate? Who can like face to face? Okay, let us stand for that. Oh, okay. Yes, 15. Yeah, thank you very much. So, in the only way we have to declare our recruits. Madam, let's not. So, because as a end of the show, I mean, so there's the one, number two, if you want Ibrahim Momoni to be our secretary, lift up the hand too. I can't tell that was who is the young Oh, So, then I'll go for yourself. So, that was that. So, thank you very much, Engineer Mooney. He is now elected as our secretary. Yes, next is Bella. That might get the money. When not go out at all.
My policy is no expenditure without income. without an income plan.
So that might get our very and if you want engineer, I need to allow you to remain as a treasurer. I mean, let us know. Yes. Yeah, we know you must. And one lady, no idea. Thank you very much. It's my initiative. We don't as well, etc. Thank you. Engineer Abidemi Yusuf will be at the Federal Secretary. One that else in your hand. It's also the assignment. Call me. Okay, here that's the debate. So one that else in your hand. Let us answer that. Well, then, and Abidemi will come as our Federal Secretary. Thank you very much. Technical Secretary, Engineer Oladele Private. The man has been working behind the scene. And seriously, I got the MC. We met several in Abuja, and we had a talk there, and where he has given some facilities. Please, if you want him to be our technical secretary, please over. 1415. Okay, so Nagabe comes in as our technical secretary. Thank you very much. I can take that secretary, Engineer Osuma. Engineer Osuma, you want Engineer Osuma to become assistant? You can vote for yourself. You can win unopposed. Thank you very much. Engineer Osuma. Yeah, public secretary. You know, usually what I want to engineer, let's say, or more as public secretary. 21. Look at that. Oh, yeah, let's see. Okay, also, you may return as some applause. And also want member secretary, engineer Sheyi Adebayo. Yes. So engineer Adebayo. Yes. Assistant General Secretary, engineer Ridwan Ifayemi. Please, can we know you? Let's see that you are also the one thing, yes, and it's also a term and accept approach. Thank you very much. As a visual, now it's there is no contention. Engineer Dr. Moritala, two. You want him? Yes. Also the term ending L. So, as of your period, and that is since they are here, is in national testing. The test of the we want them as of the 3, that's the hand. Thank you very much. Thank you. Can we have the list of can I read out? Okay, let me go there.
National chairman, here present, and the immediate past chairman of Lagos chapter of the Nigerian Institute of
Can we come out?
So I want to read out the list of newly elected ESCO members. Engineer Yusuf Majolagbe. The secretary, general secretary, engineer Ibrahim Mumin, the treasurer, engineer Anish Yolani, the financial secretary, engineer Bidem Yusuf, the technical secretary, engineer Ladele Fatiko, engineer Sama Usuma, the publicity secretary, engineer Omoife Fidel, the membership secretary, engineer Sheyi Adebayo, the assistant general secretary, engineer Ridwan Fayemi, the S official 1, our immediate past chairman, engineer the S official 2, engineer Mika.
Yes, like back of me as a another chairman by you people, every one of you people. thereby declare them as the new executive for the NIE Lagos 2021, 2022, 2023. The admin chairman was not here when you
I want to thank the Outreach Expo. They have been very supportive. They have been cooperative. The fact that in between my tenure became a permanent secretary, I believe it. All the tenure of being chairman of NIEE at the same time, but I know that those of you that are civil servants will reach there. But in saying that, it has made my schedule very busy, but nobody would have known because the expo has been very supportive. They are in autopilot, and that is why I have no doubt that Engineer will steer the affairs of NIEE in the right direction. He has been a force in the NIEE Lagos chapter. In terms of financials, as you know, we are very healthy institute, even though our membership, we have difficulties collecting membership dues, but still we are able to get support from our donors. We want to urge the national to support the NIEE Lagos chapter in actualizing the membership potential of membership that Lagos chapter has. To actually, if we just talk about Ministry of Environment alone, if we talk about wastewater and all those all those, they have a lot of it. They have like 3 or 4. All those environment related MDAs. We want the national NIE to support Lagos, because Lagos is the chapter on ground to harness all those members. So moving forward, I want to urge the new chairman to make sure that we really build the membership base. It's very important. NIE should have moved to greater heights by now, and I know that we do so. So it says so. I want to thank the national also for being here, and thank you, the new expo, new expo. Yes. I'm still back, and I'm there to support anything. That's why I will say rushing to get it. I just want to get there to do proper handing over. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, I want to say that I want to be proud of my story, the reality. I want to say that I'm actually not the best amongst us, but I'm opportune today to be the state chairman. So it's a privilege, which I need to really harness and do my best. I hope I'll be able to do my best. The first thing is that the very first day I actually had an encounter with NIE was at the annual general meeting of the investiture of engineer invited me to. That was back in 2010. So that was my debut into NIE. So I think I need to give that to my mentor, engineer. Secondly, is that I have a very wonderful person that has always inspired me all along. And she has been a very wonderful and inspirational personality to me. Person of engineer, Mrs. Abiola, she did Permanent Secretary of the State Ministry of Fiscal Planning and Accountability. I mean, if she did not give us the confidence to go ahead, the trust in us that we could move on the executive, I mean, we have lost hope. She gave us everything that we required, the financial backing, the executive order, everything that we required to move the institution forward. She has been a very special. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I will forever appreciate it. Also need to give gratitude to engineer Olale Mashude. Used to be my command boss at the Lagos State Solar Management Office. He was the international exposure. I can say we travel to Malaysia, travel to Germany. I actually went to works internationally about having a sustainable environment. So I wouldn't drive without thanking. I also want to thank the current general manager of the Lagos State Solar Management. I mean, good message. Recently appointed me as the head of operations at the Lagos State Solar Management. And I need to also give gratitude to him once again. I also need to thank the entire national expo. I think I can't just say the kind of support to those students whenever I meet our whole we are always there to guide and ensure that people to the rules and regulations of the institution. I also want to thank all our current executives. Oh, this is the new executive, and we have a couple of them here, starting from the all of the executives that have been supportive. Because if the state chairman had said you go ahead, and I actually see the entire team to support me, then I'll just be the one, of the job. So I thank you so much. I also want to thank every member that has been here today. I can tell you that really, really happy, because if you are not here today, I mean, all of this program happen. Particularly reference to Engineer Adireti of the Lagos State Solar Management Office, is the director of the special meeting of the time. He has been here from the beginning of the program till the very end. So I thank you so much, sir, for being present. So lastly, just to let us know that it is very important that we have that zeal, particularly for the environment, and that will drive us to it. Madam, you remember in 2020, it was just within 48 hours, and myself, Madam, and the entire school were able to plan World Environment Day. The international speakers. We brought in Niraj Mania from South Africa. We brought in Dr. Krishmash from Colombia. We brought in Dr. Tanya Chen from Center in Portugal. All at one event, and as well as Dr. Martin Rolla from Berlin City of Technology in Germany. We are there to talk about environment. The world environment. It was just within 48 hours to be able to hold that program. I mean, it was a really big one. So, kudos also to Engineer Mutala in Germany. It's a huge partner, I would say. Also, we have also been instrumental in support as well, also so I mean, we actually were able to drag along all of this program in the very shortest time, just to ensure that we keep the environment safe and clean. And this happened all under the auspices of our impractical engineer Mrs. Abiola. Thank you very much.
We believe that with everybody's support, will be where we want. Things. Thank you, Madam, on behalf of your escort and the actual goods. I think something before the gate. Then we're trying people go. That's when they that have been said and said what about you. You know, the 10 second that came up. And if not this car, when if not this car, they also got you. They are very knowledgeable, very, very rich. In terms of what the value that was able to say was remarkable. And then everybody want to see that, oh, this is NIE. They were saw that it was done to provide solution to certain people. That's the first sense of being nice. So on behalf of them, they ask that will give you this for your outstanding leadership and dedication as chairman of the church. Thank you very much. So, thank you.
This is the grand picture. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Can we call on the second of that committee to go to right now? Vote of thanks. Vote of thanks. Vote of thanks.
Good afternoon once again. I stand on the existing protocol. I want to especially thank our keynote speaker that we want to stop. We're enjoying so much. I think for the games of the most. Our guest speaker is also gone. Our ever supportive national chairman, always there to support us in everything we do. We thank you for making our time to be here. And our beautiful, amiable, our Madam Due process, everything you want to do, there must be an explanation for it. And I've learned so much working under her. When you go to our office, you begin to wonder, does this woman ever sleep? She's busy from morning till night. At night again, you still see her online. And you begin to wonder, and she still glows in the morning. So I wonder how she does it. So you don't need anyone to tell you the story behind her success. She's a very hardworking woman, and she has empowered all of us so much. Most times we are deliberating online, she'll be quiet, make one mistake, and you'll be like, she will now call all of you to order. So you're not like, so you'll be following up all the while. She is very, very detailed. Nothing ever goes past her. No detail ever. So I've learned a lot to be a better female engineer. And Engineer Madolagbe, I came into this institution and to come and say, Madam was encouraging me, but you know when you are beautiful and you're powerful, you begin to think that this person is very snobbish and I was always running away from her. I was avoiding her until somehow, just find yourself, being pushed to face her, one-on-one. And if you are with her one-on-one, you begin to look like, okay, so this woman is this humble and relatable. I came in here to serve, and I found a family. They've been very supportive. Any dream I have, goal, they are there to support me. And finally, I want to say thank you to everyone that came here to attend our program. Without you, it won't be possible. Thank you for making out the time. And we hope that for some of you that are not registered, you register and continue to attend our program. And I pray that as you go home, you get home safe. And we hope to see more of you, in the coming months, whenever we are having our programs. Thank you very much for listening.
One, two, God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, ever you the truth to know. In love and honesty to grow and be just and true. With lofty eyes attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Thank you for coming. Thank you. See you at our next program. God bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye to everyone.